Newly minted metapilots gain access to unique powers and abilities, slowly transforming them into true masters of the Metaverse.
It is Meta Monday! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Masters of the Metaverse here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch. I am your host and GM, James Durham. Joining me at the virtual table, I have Andy Dobrowski, Maggie Doyle, Sean Franklin, and Christian Doyle. And we've got Leo on tech back in the real studio, bringing us live to you right now. Now, what is Masters of the Metaverse? Well, it's only the most interactive RPG on the planet.
Only.
That's right.
That.
You, the audience, can influence and change the show live as it is happening. How? Well, first there's our amazing store. From meta points to system shocks, rules of cool to the nearly all-powerful hack attack. In addition to our weekly store, we also have weekly Patreon polls. And I have this week's results. Do you guys want to know how you did? Do you want to know?
Yeah.
All right. Christian, this week you get plus 10 health and plus 4 to a roll.
Okay. Thank you.
Sean, this week you get plus 10 health and plus 4 to a roll.
Yay!
Andy, this week you get plus 10 health and plus 4 to a roll. Maggie, this week you get plus 40 health and plus 8 to a roll.
What?
Yeah. Thank you, chat. Patreon.
I didn't see Maggie for a while, so.
Yeah.
Please me.
And I get plus 10 health and plus 4 to a roll. Well, there you go. Speaking of Patreon, I got some extra special backers that I want to thank. Jeff Parrish, thank you.
Thank you.
Brady Hill, thank you. And Marcus Johansson, thank you. Previously on Masters of the Metaverse, with a bold new plan on pushing back the darkness devouring the Metaverse, our heroes have traveled far and wide, spreading hope rather than confronting this evil head-on. From alternate metaverses to the land of the Borks, they have been successful. This time, they face a new challenge. They travel to a twisted version of what they know as the Weird West. One where history did not go the way that they're accustomed to. In this metaverse, things didn't turn out so well for the people there. The spirit of the American West is dying. How exactly did this happen? Well, I suppose it started about 20 years ago, when Edison and his allies won the Second Civil War. Having subverted Tesla to his will and crushed the rebellious forces of King Roosevelt, Edison, Rockefeller, and the Northern Atlantic Trade Alliance began the systemic development of the continent. Factories sprung up, supported by perfectly mapped cookie-cutter towns, with every resident a company employee. Massive coal mines and refineries were built to support the tremendous number of steam and electrical-powered machines designed by Edison and Tesla. The ambition of the Trade Alliance knew no bounds. It spread ever westward, driven by an infinite greed. Spearheading this advance were the Northern Pacific and Southern Pacific Railroads. Hardy men and women, the last of the free spirits of the West, forged ever onward, all the way to the great blue Pacific Ocean. Enticed by riches, adventure, or a sense of duty to their countrymen, these brave individualists were the last of the great American dream. Most of them are gone now, or have returned to the far reaches of Canada, Alaska, or the jungles of the Amazon. But four remain. Four great American legends, filled with regrets. For in their journey, they allowed the spirit of the West to be broken beneath the heel of progress. John Henry, the man who could outwork a machine. So impressed with Henry's determination, when his heart failed beating the great machine in the contest, Edison installed a steam-powered replacement. Joe McGarrick, the man of steel, the hero of Pittsburgh, whose forge rang from dawn until dark every night. Cassie Jones, the greatest train engineer and land surveyor to ever cross the Rockies. Always able to coax out just a little more from both man and machine.
Ooh.
And Ford Wood Pete, the diminutive brother of Paul Bunyan. While only 4'9", he is just as strong as his oversized brother, and his skill with the woodsman's axe is unequaled. These four are among the last of the American folk heroes. Even now, their names are beginning to fade into obscurity, and with it, the last breaths of the spirit of the West. Soon, all will be the monotonous design of Edison, all in perfect prose, perfect lines, and perfectly unimaginative. Will it be the end of the American dream? Perhaps, or perhaps not, for the spirit of the West draws breath still, if one has the courage to seek it out. Let's go ahead and start this with the system shock before we go any further.
Oh.
We're going to do
Shock.
sliders. I'm going to start up there with John Henry and John Stone and see where he's going to end up there. And John Henry and John Stone, we're going to go full Avatar right out of the gates for him.
Not a problem.
Now for Rosie and Cassie Jones, we are going to put her one away from Rosie.
All right.
All right, for Christian and good old Joe, the hero of Pittsburgh, we are going to go one away from Joe for Crash Jackson and... Oh, I see a hammer.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Like we're in a competition. And then for our good friend, Brony Roberts, who we have missed dearly on this show. And Court,
This is already going off the rails. Cassie, I blame you.
you should. It is my fault. But for fun, we're going to put you in full Brony right out the start. Oh, isn't this fun? Now, my friends, a little over 6 months ago, our heroes finished pounding in the last railroad spike, connecting New York to San Francisco. The Great Railroad was complete, and with it, the unstoppable expansion of Edison and Rockefeller's plans. A perfectly uniformed, mapped, and scheduled America. Everything laid out in place, all in service to the great company and the captains of industry. With no further adventures to be had, sail to be woven, our heroes began to fade into obscurity. Years before, the tall tales of the American West had already begun to die. There were no notorious outlaws, no great adventurers, no legends left to tell. Had they all gone? Perhaps into hiding? Or to the far corners of the world where people still believed in larger-than-life personas? It's hard to say. But for these heroes, perhaps there would be one more chance to keep the legend alive. Each of them, you see, has received an invitation from the most wanted man in America, the most seditious of writers, the most subversive of philosophers, Samuel Langford Clemens. You might know him by his more popular name of Mark Twain.
Ah.
Mr. Twain has been a most hated enemy of Edison and his allies, for he has dared to question authority. He has the audacity to believe in something larger than himself that wasn't the great company. What a villain. And this is where our story begins, as these four heroes of the West, the last of the great railroad workers, the final American legends, arrive at a simple cabin in the newly recognized state of Montana.
Right.
So I gotta tell you, I don't appreciate you measuring hammers with me, man. I'm telling you, my hammer's bigger.
Yes, yours is railway hammer. Mine is forge hammer.
Yeah, and I swing it harder too. So just know your place, son.
I am comparing hammer size. I don't understand.
It's a thing that men like to do a lot.
Ah, I'm aware of this pastime.
As someone who stands waist high, I can confirm.
Peter.
Right.
On the porch of this cabin sits a white-haired man calmly smoking a pipe. Despite being well over 60 years old, Twain still looks like he's in his early 30s. Why, hello. Good day to you, my fine friends.
Good day to you, Mr. Twain.
Won't you join me for a spell?
I thought the man's name was Clemens.
He's a bitch.
I don't think you. We would be more than happy to join you for a spell.
Have you looked around at the world that created here?
Yes, twice.
Which world are you referring to? The one that was created by nature, or the one that was created by man?
Oh, well, by man, my fine young lady, by man. Would seem the spirit of the West is slowly fading away.
Yes, we have done a terrible thing.
Won't be much longer now, I don't think. Unless, perhaps someone was to do something about it.
Do you have a plan, Mr. Clemens?
Well, I don't know, I might have a notion or two. Things that Edison and Rockefeller might not like very much. But I guess it'd be up to you to decide. You could bring me in, get yourselves a fine reward, I'm sure.
I definitely want to help because I don't want America to be all messed up in 150 years.
Well, that is mighty fine of you, Pete. Mighty fine of you. What this country truly needs is inspiration. It needs something greater to believe in. Something larger than life. Perhaps you might see your way to lending a hand with that.
Well, I'm sure we could. What did you have in mind?
I have a couple of ideas, and they won't be easy, and they will most likely be quite dangerous.
Now, excuse me a minute, Mr. Clemens. What exactly has they want you for?
Well, mostly for my writing. I still believe in tall tales, legends, and folk heroes and the like. Things that are not conducive to Rockefeller's and Edison's perfect uniform company men, clocking in, clocking out, putting in their day's work.
There are no room for men like us anymore. Or women, for that matter, Cassie.
That is too true.
Well, then we gotta make some.
That's right. We need great stories. And not just any story, but great stories. And people love the story of an underdog, do they not?
I have not heard many dog stories, but I admit Pittsburgh, we don't listen to the rest of the world most of the time. I'm sure these underdogs are huge.
Tell you what, I'm not being an underdog. It was one time he was trying to replace me and my whole crew with a steam drill. Thought I could do better than what a man could do with his own hands. Tell you what, I should
Nothing better than what a man can do with his own hands. Your story inspired me many times. We would tell it at the foundry when we were building the railway spikes and the rails. The story of John Henry. Very powerful. And then, of course, there's the story of Cordwood Pete, which I have not ever heard before.
Now, there was a young, enterprising fellow by the name of Butch Cassidy. You probably have not heard of him.
I mean, maybe.
Now, he's found himself in a spot of trouble. Hasn't had quite the opportunity to make a name for himself just yet. But given the chance, I believe he will. But I think he's going to need just a little bit of help. You see, he and some of his friends just robbed their first bank. But the long arm of Edison's law, not far behind him. Right now, he's hiding somewhere in Utah, but it won't take long for them to catch up.
Well, now,
Unless perhaps you give him a hand.
I'm gonna have to cut you off there, Mr. Clement. I ain't never stolen in my whole life, and I don't think I'm keen on siding with somebody who do, you know what I mean?
It's about his legend, Mr. Henry. His legend.
Like the legend of Robin Hood.
Yes. Yes, that is precisely it. It is not as though we are endorsing Mr. Cassidy's loss in his ways. It is more endorsing his rugged individuality, his sense of spirit.
You're not trying to start another war, though, right?
This country has seen far too many wars. What I'm looking for is more of a revolution of thought.
So, how are we supposed to help you in this revolution of thought? Just spread the word about Butch? What exactly are you wanting from us?
You want us to help him succeed.
That's right.
And just getting away? And, I mean...
In order to have his tail spread, Mr. Cassidy is going to have to survive and evade the long arm of the law, and he just does not have the experience just yet.
Right, so you're hiring us to be bodyguards, is what you're saying.
Oh, perhaps, or just lend a helping hand however you see fit, and perhaps allow that tail to grow like a young flower.
You need the last of the legends
I do.
to help grow his.
Right.
If we do not do this thing, the power that we have, it will not last.
That's right. Even mine is slowly beginning to fade.
Mr. Clemens, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a moment to talk to my party here.
Oh, of course, take all the time you need, Mr. Henry.
Now look, it sounds to me like this Cassidy fella broke in and stole other people's money. All kinds of folk had their money in the banks and he just went and took it all. I don't understand why you don't be helping him do something like that.
You make an excellent point, John Henry.
I think the way to view it is that we did not help him steal the money. And we were not a part of that. But if we if he gets caught and he goes to jail or they hang him or whatever they're gonna do, his legend dies, that story dies. And then
At least until the movie comes out.
right. But then it's giving people hope, it's giving people the idea that they can think for themselves, although I understand, because now I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, but don't rob a bank.
I'm saying this Mr. Clemens seems like a real slick talk, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if I can feel comfortable trusting him.
Truth. I think that's a valid point.
I don't believe we have to trust it. Trust is not necessary for this exercise. Going and seeing with our own eyes will tell us if he is bullshit or not.
Right, maybe there were extenuating circumstances that we aren't aware of about money in the bank. It could have been a lot of bad people's money. It could have they exploited their workers. They did something, earned all this money at the expense of others. And so this is like, as I know Robin was mentioned earlier, just as an example, but maybe this is more of that situation, which I think we all know and we hold Robin Hood as a good guy. He stole money, but he spread the wealth around so that everyone could survive. So maybe there's more to this story than Mr. Clemens is letting on.
The pursuit of wealth nearly destroyed this country before the Second Civil War. Now, because of us, the same engine, pardon the term, has moved from coast to coast. I think we have to do something, or we'll be paying for these mistakes the rest of our lives, which will not be as long as they should be.
Mr. Cordwood, you've been awful quiet. You got something to say?
Well, I think if we were to ask this guy if he was trustworthy, he'd tell us no. Also, I had a really weird spell there for a second and kind of lost connection with everybody, so I'm catching up. But yeah, I think I have a feeling about bankers that I don't necessarily know is not going to sway my hand on this.
I don't know about.
I guess if you stand the right way, yeah.
Oh, well, as lovely as that conversation is, look, in the end, we can always tell Mr. Clemens we'll go help out his friend. We'll go there, and then we can make our decision once we've arrived. There's no contract, there's nothing binding here. We can go on our merry way if we decide that this is not something we want to be doing. So there's no harm in investigating the situation.
All right.
Agreed.
Now, Mr. Clemens, what we are going to need is the location of your friend.
I could not tell you precisely where he is, but I'm sure if you will ask around Salt Lake City, you might hear about his whereabouts. He's been known to frequent there.
All right. And, James,
Salt Lake City?
Yes.
how many days ride are we from Salt Lake City?
Well, your horseless steam-powered carriage makes a decent clip. You could probably get there within a day or two. But you at the helm, maybe.
So we'll get there. We'll get there in like half a day. Great, cool.
I mean, you tend to go a little faster than everyone else.
Well, Mr. Clemens, I would also. I feel like it's not too much to ask if you have any supplies that you could give us, any rations or anything for our journey. That would be most kind.
I've got full cupboards. You may have access to whatever you like.
Thank you.
Just please leave some of the bourbon and cigars for me.
Define some.
I'll let you do that.
Cool. I mean, I'm cool to take. I say, James, we just take some supplies for the trip. Nothing, outrageous.
It's a pretty simple cabin. Not a lot of.
Right. Exactly. And then you guys just want to go?
Sure.
I was going to go anyway.
Let's do
We're
it.
going to Salt Lake. We should grab some of the bourbon at least.
Oh yeah, we'll take some. But,
So is there really a salt lick in the town?
no, it's not a salt lick like a deer. Like no one licks it. Like a lake, like a body of water.
Oh,
Licks lakes.
that's called an ocean if there's salt in it.
A sea. It's a sea.
Right.
Yes, I see fine. Thank you.
Yes. Well, then you can see that it's not an ocean. Let's go for a float.
I do not leave Pittsburgh. Straight up. Doesn't happen.
That's the opposite of most people.
So I'm going to this Salt Lake town.
I think we all are.
We'll find this bitch Cassidy, and we will help him escape the long arms of law.
James, quick question about my character sheet. What is considered extended use?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Great. Well, if we all get in, I'm gonna mess around with our little steam-powered vehicle here so that we can go 50% faster.
Your steam-powered vehicle is yours.
Oh, it's mine. So I don't need to tinker because it's perfect.
Oh, no. You are already used to pushing it beyond its limits.
Great.
You fire up the horseless steam-powered carriage and begin trekking south and west. For what would be a long journey for most. It's still a long journey, but not nearly as much for yourselves. With Cassie Jones at the helm, the horseless steam-powered carriage travels significantly faster than those you are accustomed to seeing or traveling on in your past experience.
So we're doing like 50.
Yes. You're doing like 50, which is pretty uncomfortable.
Joe is just white-knuckling it the whole way. Yes.
You can do this and actually feel something like you're in the car.
Yeah, the lack of real roads makes you really know that you're going 50 miles an hour. Particularly as Cassie doesn't seem to slow down for corners, hills, be on precarious ridges in the mountain area with just less than like an inch of space before she'd plummet off to her death. Still doesn't slow down.
Nope.
It is slightly uncomfortable more than once.
Getting saddle sore in the car.
This woman is crazy! She crazy!
Are you dead?
I want to be.
Then we're good.
And within a day, you reach the perfectly laid out grid of Salt Lake City. Everyone in town is in their company uniform. And most of them are just going about their daily duties. But there are small groups that have stopped and are speaking together and gossiping about a robbery, a bank robbery.
Are they just like on the street?
Yep,
or are
on
they
the
like
streets. Some of them going to or from work, but rather than forming in perfect uniform lines walking to and from the factories, they've stopped in places to group up and gossip. And wherever groups are stopping to do so, armed, uniformed enforcers from the company step in and push people back into getting in straight lines and marching to and from their jobs in an orderly fashion.
It's Salt Lake City? No.
And they're all made out of ticky-tacky.
This carriage is not going to come to an easy stop. We're going to be going, and I want to do that like movie thing where you do the turn, almost like you're going to do a donut, and all the dust goes everywhere, and then we're just dead stopped. But also, like, maybe causes a ruckus.
Are you going to jump off the car at the last second like Speed Racer?
Yep.
How about one of those driving checks there, please?
You got it. Oh, but I'm so far away from Cassie because I'm Rosie. How many meta points do we have?
You'll have to look up there in that corner.
Unfortunately, mine is set up differently than yours, James.
Ah, sorry.
Oh, it's all good. My store is blocked by my face.
Well, here, give me 1 second, and I will pull it up manually. Just for you.
Spend points to do a J turn.
Mm-hmm.
There are no meta points available right now.
No problem. I will roll my 2. Oh, D12. Oh. That's a hard no. That's
How bad? Hard no.
I missed it by
as bad as the real Casey Jones in a train.
That's what I'm hoping for secretly, I'm going to be honest. How bad?
My driving is a 16. Yeah, 16, and I have a 19.
But we'll all be dead.
Okay, a failure by 3 is not nearly as catastrophic as I was aiming for, but it still is not perfect. And you managed to throw a wheel at the last moment, skid it down, and you end up facing backwards rather than sliding into that perfect.
P.S. This is an open top vehicle with no seat belts.
This is correct. Flying backwards, and everyone is on top of each other in the middle of the car, and then it kind of skids back on the one axle and then bumps into the side of a building before finally stopping. It most certainly got lots of attention, though.
Hashtag clarity. How
Thank
can
you.
Rosie
What-
make
what- you
dragon
doing that
checks? Also Casey at the
What
bat.
I do?
This is
We
all.
stopped, didn't we? We got here real fast.
The little guy almost died.
We do have 2 moments of clarity added. I'm not getting store audio, so I'm going to try and monitor this as best I can.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
It was Merc. Thank you, Merc.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm going to try and keep this monitored over here so that I can have us appraised on the store.
Excellent.
We'll have that solved in no time. But yeah, you definitely get a lot of folks' attention, just not in the manner that you were planning on originally.
Well, attention is attention.
Scatter, and they're pretty frightened by it sliding in like that. Not to mention, your passengers ended up on top of each other in a pile in the middle of the carriage, and aren't looking at you with the warmest reception.
Well, I'm gonna jump out.
Oh no, our train car jumped the tracks. We ended up so far away. This is just a normal train car. Everyone watching us.
Wow, you guys look like this looks awful. All these lines, all this falling into place. This is awful.
You there, move along, one of the enforcers yells at you.
You there!
Back to your job.
No one tells Joe Magarek where to walk.
Fact. How about you move along? All I see is some citizens just trying to have a conversation, and you're being all rude to them. So why don't you scamper along with your tail between your legs?
Or we'll decide we'll do more than just passing through.
This is company property. You don't want to be causing no trouble here.
First of all, we don't want to be causing any trouble here, you uneducated fuck.
Right. Also, you said this is company property. Are you saying the city, the whole city, is company property?
That's correct.
That's just dumb.
We don't want to talk to you anymore. You may go.
All right, now how about we not provoke him when we just got here? There'll be time enough for that kind of thing, but right now, let's just try to at least blend in a little bit.
We are literally legendary characters. Blending in is not going to be an option for us. You're John freaking Henry. Everybody knows who you are.
It's pretty
No,
obvious
nobody
that at
knows
least
who I
a
am.
few people have recognized members of your group.
I mean, you're a giant man with hammer, and I am, like, nobody here knows who I am compared to you.
Well,
Super famous.
you don't know what they're looking at. I mean, I also happen to be the only colored man in Salt Lake City, so
Oh. Okay, no, I see it then. But still, you're John freaking Henry.
Yeah. I mean, you
So I can see what's going on.
random person over there. Do you know who John Henry is?
sorry. Cool.
Yeah, he was the guy that beat the machine and then the competition, the steam engine. He's
Yes,
the
well,
greatest
the
workman.
giant man with the hammer and the ticking heart. That's
yeah,
it.
this guy.
That is John Henry.
I know.
Can I shake your hand, sir?
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan, Mr. Henry.
Everybody is John freaking Henry.
I know. And I find John Henry inspiring. Do you, sir? Because John Henry beat the machine. And like, trust me, I have a love of machines. I work very closely with them. But that is impressive. I mean, wouldn't you rather aspire to be like John Henry than Like a robot?
I'm just a company man, ma'am.
What is a robot?
He's a little like a robot.
What's a robot?
Mechanical heart.
I mean,
Oh, like this. So, do we have to keep talking to you then, or are you going to leave us alone now that we're famous?
I'm sorry to bother you folks. Just try not to disrupt the flow of work in town with your legendary status, please.
We'll do what we can. Have a wonderful day.
Bye now, folks. You over there, get back to work. And he walks off.
Did you see how like he found you were John Henry, and then he was like, "Holy shit!" That's how I was the first time I met you.
I saw everyone's backs.
Sorry, Cordwood. Cordwood, why don't you come up to the front so you can see better?
Give me an apple box or something.
You want the? I mean, you want shoulder ride?
Yes.
Well, hop up, bud. I got you.
All right.
You know, I once carried 20 men out of burning foundry, all one. So you're nothing. I got this.
Sounds good. I am now writing.
Yes, you are.
This is perfect. Thank you.
It's kind of like riding on an object of steel. It doesn't feel like you're sitting on someone made of flesh.
He doesn't have soft parts.
It's okay. All my parts are soft, so I'm good.
That's what she said.
mm-hmm.
Oh, it is.
His first time joke is made.
Now we know where it came from.
Yes, John Henry.
Legendary.
Indeed.
So, do you guys want to go see if we can talk to any of those people who were talking when we pulled up? See if we can get a little information? Or just go to the saloon? Like, what do we feel like doing?
Yes, we go to saloon. I've never been to saloon outside of Pittsburgh. Let's do this. Salt Lake City is going to be booming.
Yes. It is definitely going. Whatever.
Walking
I'm
several
riding this guy.
perfect blocks. You have been to a couple of cities. Some of you have. Some of the Edison Rockefeller cities, and they're all laid out exactly the same, so that any person who's been into one can know exactly where each individual store is, because it's always on the same block in the same spot. And you get to where the saloon should be, and there's simply an empty lot.
Now that is the saddest thing I have ever seen.
Where's the saloon? Yeah, you. Where's the saloon?
And in fact, in that empty lot, there's just one little statue, and it's dedicated to somebody named Brigham Young.
Huh. I don't know who that is.
What kind of name is Brigham?
Again, it seems like a type of sandwich, right?
All right. I'm full Brony, and I have knowledge of history. Do I notice anything different about this Brigham Young than, say, our Brigham Young?
Eye patch.
Eye patch, some kind of a war hero.
Is the statue actual size? I
No.
need this ego boost. No.
It is not actual size.
Okay.
But there's a little inscription on it that's dedicated the town of Salt Lake City to be alcohol-free in order to honor the legend of Brigham Young.
He went with extra wives. He went with alcohol-free. Fine.
Also, magic underwear.
They're called garments.
Young. They were literally magic underwear in this world.
Yeah.
Magic what now?
Drawers. Like you know your undergarments.
John Henry, the commando.
Yes.
Only adding to the legend now, aren't you?
Hey, when you're driving steel, you can't chafe.
As a blacksmith, I'm going to have to agree. That's why I also went full Magarak.
Oh, this is good.
Right. Okay. So there's no saloon. So Is
There
there?
doesn't seem to be.
I mean, I guess we just stop somebody and ask them
Let's
questions.
find the bank.
All right, all right. Oh, yeah. Let's go to the bank.
Open an
You
account?
find the company bank, the Edison Rockefeller Bank. There's clearly some new glass being put in on the windows, and there seems to be some gunshot marks in the front of the building.
Classic Western bank robber. Ride up, shoot the shit out of the building, then go in.
I'd actually like to. I think there might be an advantage here, everyone, in feigning ignorance about what happened. If we walk in and hey, what's with the bullet holes?
Can we see if the bullet holes were made from the inside or the outside? Because I think Joe's on to something.
Yeah, the bullet holes look like they're on the outside. Yeah. In fact, give me a notice check there, Brony.
Okie dokie. It's been too long.
It really has.
Do I have a notice specific stat, or is it just against?
Notice should be a skill if you possess it. You might not.
I don't.
That's okay.
Athletics, meditation.
Just
Can any of us do a notice check?
Do a notice check.
I'm really hoping for Brony at the moment, but you're
Okay.
you're far enough away on the slider that you can actually do it too. Rosie knows a couple of things about gunfights as well. I'll give it to you.
I noticed a little bit. I can notice.
Yeah, except John Henry is not really knowledgeable in gunfight forensics.
Oh well, excuse me.
Now, John Stone would be, but you happen to be full John Henry at the moment.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I'm full Brony. So does this resemble a video game of any type?
That's what I was kind of giving it to you there for. But
Excellent. My notice is fantastic, though.
All right. Well, beat my video game knowledge by 8.
by
So,
8,
Yeah.
I beat.
between the two of you, you were pretty sure that somebody coming out of that building got shot at some point, and that's why the gunshots are there.
Yeah, I beat my notice by 14.
Oh yeah, you've got that for sure, 100%. Somebody came out of the front of that bank.
Approach from the east.
Yep. Somebody came out of that bank, was going pretty fast,
Where-
and got shot at, and probably shot back at somebody, and then hopped on a horse and rode out of town.
Simply because I am closer to Rosie, what happens now is basically what happens with Willem Dafoe in Boondock Saints, where I walk out and I recreate.
firefight!
I'm recreating it for everyone.
It looks like 4 total people with that 14 notice were involved in this robbery. 1 stayed outside of the building with the horses, and 3 went in.
3 went in, but
they got shot at on their way out.
They had
Right.
a getaway rider.
James, with a roll like I had, beating it by 14. Any blood? Any?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, so no one actually got injured. They just got shot at.
Yep, looks like there was some shooting that happened, but nobody managed to find their mark.
Right.
Stormtroopers.
Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise.
Oh.
Right. Well, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go in and feign ignorance and see what information that I can gain from the people who work here from inside, because we obviously. Sorry,
See if
what
the
was
bank
that?
still has money. Maybe
Yeah.
we should be chasing them instead of robbing the bank, since maybe bank's already been robbed and they've already got the money, and
We're not here
4
to-
people. That's easier.
Not here to rob the bank. Here to help identify bank robbers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna walk in and
All right.
look
They're doing
at
some
the-
repairs on the
Outside with our
inside.
hammers and try and look inconspicuous.
You're working on the windows. Everyone uses giant hammers when
The
They're doing some
biggest
work on the
guy you've
inside.
ever seen, and then the smallest dude you've ever seen riding on one of the big guy's shoulders.
And I am
Totally
still doing that. I
inconspicuous.
want to be clear. I duck when I go into the bank and everything. I am remaining up here.
Totally inconspicuous, quite obviously.
I'm so
Inside,
sorry.
they're doing a little bit of work inside as well, it seems like. And no blood in there either.
So sorry to interrupt. We are just passing through. We're taking a little breather here from on our trip, and looks like something went down. What happened?
Hold there, man. Look, unfortunately, some ne'er-do-wells came in here and robbed the bank.
Oh my! They were successful.
Yes, they got out with the money, but there is a posse on their trail. They will have them in no time.
Oh, well, isn't that comforting?
Yeah. They've already found themselves a lead, and they're going to get them to talk, and that will give them the whereabouts of these outlaws to bring to justice.
My goodness. I mean, how lucky that they could find a lead so quickly.
One of these men was recognized, and he has been seen at a local ranch many times, having relations with the women there.
Sorry for the forwardness of this question, but what kind of ranch?
All of them?
Like, what kind of ranch are you speaking about, sir?
Oh, it's a cattle ranch, of course.
Better that than chicken or bunny.
Hello down there, very tall man up here. In case we run into these fellows, can you describe the one that everyone recognized, or tell us anything about it?
Oh, they said he had short hair, was rather blonde, and quite handsome. He's been seen with Josie Bassett at the Bassett Ranch many times.
Josie Bassett, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he's not having relations with all of the women on the ranch?
Well, there's Josie and Ann, they're sisters. I guess there's something to it. I'm not really quite sure. I don't want to speak out of turn.
No.
Particularly with the lady present.
Oh, sir.
Sir, she ain't no lady. She's with us.
Fact.
You may have been talking about me.
Sure. To each their own. How, if you don't mind, and again, like, I'm just so surprised that in a city so regulated and so careful that someone managed to steal money. I mean, they couldn't have taken much, right?
Well, they got away with a fair sum, but we'll catch them and get that money back. You don't need to worry.
But they couldn't have taken all of it.
Just most of it.
Just most of it.
A little over $7,000.
Oh my!
So this ranch.
Right. We, as we're passing through, maybe we should avoid certain areas. Where is the ranch located?
Oh, the Bassett Ranch. It's about 12 miles southwest of here.
Well, we'll be sure to avoid it. Thank you for your time.
You folks have a good trip. Doing company business, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Excellent. Always good to meet company folks.
I know sometimes I think it's exciting when you meet not company folks, you know, because like sometimes they just got the coolest lives.
Yes, they're probably all very chilly. We should go.
Cool. 2 men enter, 2 men leave. Let's go, Blaster.
So should we get the trench coat if we're going to do the very tall man bit?
Sure. Can we buy a trench coat in Salt Lake?
No. There's a risk of it being used for flashing.
Yeah.
Right, so I guess we go see Bessie.
Bessie.
Jesse? Bessie?
I thought we were looking for a Butch Cassidy.
Right, but she's the one who gave them the information on where he might be, right? She's the lead.
She's the person that the posse went to go interrogate.
Mm.
She also, as we know, has had relations with him.
So, why is everybody so hung up on these relations?
No,
I mean, yes, I brought it up 3 times.
I just don't want to mess with other people's posse, okay?
Right, no, the point...
Yeah, me, I'm not down with OPP.
The point being that she might have feelings for this Butch, or she might try to protect him, and she might give them false information, and she might give us correct information.
Hold on. You said feelings for Butch. I thought we were looking for a man.
Well, no, we are, but she's the lead. She knows what he might.
I see what you did there. Oh, John Henry, you filthy man.
Always thinking with his hammer.
That hammer will be the death of you. Lord.
Okay, now I'm confused.
It's okay. Let's shake her on over.
You've not heard the John Henry song? Me and Pete are the only two guys here that don't have a song. And I'm pretty sure your big brother has like 5.
Shut up.
Or maybe it's just one really big song.
How big was your brother anyway?
You all look huge to me. So, I don't know, 6'10", 9 feet, something.
I hear he's 10 feet and bulletproof.
Oh.
No, wait, that's Moses. But
How big was his ox?
How big was his ox?
Oh, I never asked to look.
Let's see. Pretty tall. Pretty tall. Just duck is all I'm saying. You know.
Right. So by my calculations, we get in a horseless carriage. We can be there in about 15 minutes if it's 12 miles southwest.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but you threw a wheel.
Well, I'll fix it real quick. No problem.
No, we'll hammer it back on. No problem.
All right.
Horseless carriages are basically all steel anyway, right?
This is correct.
Give Majorak a chance to be useful for something other than talking.
All right. Tell us what you're going to use to fix it there, Joe.
Well, Pete, if you could give it a jack, like get under it and maybe give it a little lift.
Sure thing.
Your legendary strength, and I'll start hammering the wheel back on.
Climb down yet. Still got a ways. All right. So I run under and I lift up the carriage.
Goodwood Pete lifts that carriage right up like it weighs nothing.
Anybody got a flask?
Everybody.
I'm a beer guy.
From around here.
Wow.
Yeah, so roll the wheel back over and lift it up and give it the old whack.
Give me a repair or engineering roll over there, please, Joe.
Sure, do I have that? I do. I have a lot of that. Oh, I'm all the way by Joe, right? All right. The odds are better this way. And that I beat by 2.
Beat by 2, that is good enough. It only takes you a couple of good solid swings, and you're able to get that wheel back
Hashtag
on.
Brony
Thanks to
buff.
Goodwood
Thank
Pete
you very
holding
much, sir,
that
for giving
entire
us an
horseless
extremely
carriage
clear
up
and vivid
like
image of
a
exactly
human
how
jack.
big both Paul Bunyan and his blue
We
cow
just got
are.
tipped by
In short,
Blarlac,
Pete got a real life fall.
and he said, hashtag Brony buff, thank you very much for giving us an extremely clear and vivid image of exactly how big both Paul Bunyan and his blue cow are. I'm sure Pete got a real eyeful. Thank you, Blarlac.
Thank you.
Eye, mouth, whatever. So we're
Great,
good.
well then we go to her house. It's like 15 minutes in my carriage.
In your carriage, you were able to move pretty quickly, and you reach the outskirts of the ranch, and there seems to be some kind of a commotion going out front of the house in the center of the ranch.
I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try the spin move, jumping. I'm trying it again.
Woman?
Go ahead and give me that driving check there.
I'm going to flip out of the car while she's doing this.
It was bad.
Oh.
I somehow got a 20.
So you failed by 4 this time?
Cool. I beat my acrobatics check by 7. I wasn't kidding when I said I'd flip out of the car.
All right, Cliffwood, you leap out just as the horseless carriage goes up on its side and slides up, still pointing the wrong direction, but now completely on its side.
This is a test donation for $98.
You know, I'm thinking that, this big metal vehicle from now on, we let John Henry drive because he is already a steel driving man.
I'm sorry, no one's driving my vehicle but me.
I don't even think...
I wouldn't say you are.
I'm sorry, who has gotten us to each location safely and quickly? Me.
Mostly inertia by the time we get to the end.
And out front of the main house there are 3 other steam-powered horseless carriages parked with the company logo on the side. There are a posse of 12 armed men and a pair of steam-powered golems supporting them with giant hammers in place of their hands. That's right.
It looks like a challenge to me.
Steam Drill 2.0.
And
Watch the ticker, John Henry.
the thugs are currently threatening both cattle and the ranch hands of 2 young women who they are trying to question.
I'm sorry, ladies, are you having a problem? Are these men hurting you?
Well, they're threatening to do so and threatening to harm our cattle if we don't tell them the whereabouts of some bank robber that I have never heard of.
I would like to pull out my baseball bat. Well, gentlemen.
Why do you have a baseball bat?
It's what I got. I like baseball.
Is that a threat?
I just feel like this is more of a gun situation. Did anybody bring a gun?
Gentlemen, I'm going to have to ask you to back away from these lovely ladies.
Now, look here, lady. You better back off. This is business of the law.
Oh, it's business.
They bought 3 vehicles, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Business of the law. Oh, my. Oh, that sounds so scary. I'm going to ask you one more time, and if you don't do what I ask, my baseball bat is going to be in your brains. So back away from the ladies.
I think that was a threat. Was that a threat? Yeah, that was a threat.
Stupid. Of course it was a threat. He's going to hit you with the bat.
Threatening to me.
And they raise rifles and point them at you, Cassie Jones.
All right. So, baseball bat versus rifle. No big deal. Oh, 12 rifle. Sorry.
It's fine. Fine.
And let's all roll initiative, shall we?
No.
Yes.
A fight breaks out.
I'm glad we got to stick to the plan at least. Thanks, Mags.
Initiative's a 12?
2 12-sided dice and add your initiative modifier.
Okay.
22, James.
22. Wow.
17.
21.
Who had the 17? Okay. And what about you, Joe?
28.
28. Wow. All right, well, you're going to be going first, Joe.
All right. I am going to do a what would by today's standards be considered a golf swing with my hammer, line it up real nice, and I'm going to knock that horseless carriage into that group of gentlemen pointing rifles at our friend Casey.
Love it.
All right, I will take athletics or fighting for that, my friend.
I will give you athletics, I think, because I'm not fighting this car this time. Oh, I shouldn't be rolling that die. That's an 8. I rolled a 7. Let me just compare that against my sheet here, which I didn't have pulled up. I apologize. I beat it by 9.
Beat it by 9. You hit this horse's carriage, and it does 3 full turns in the air before crashing down in the group of 12 men.
How many do I crush? Let me guess. 4!
That is in fact correct. You crush 4 men underneath that carriage. Nicely done.
Right. And that's what I get to do this round.
We will go to Rosie / Cassie Jones next. Baseball bat in hand.
Baseball bat in hand. So I'm gonna look at the men with the rifles. I'm gonna look at my bat. I'm gonna set it down. I'm just gonna reach my hand out as if I'm Thor. And out of nowhere, a sword is going to appear in it.
Are you summoning Mercy?
I am summoning Mercy because part of our thing here is the tall tales and keeping the stories alive. And I don't think there's anything better than a sword appeared out of nowhere. And
not just any sword, but like a sword that's as big as a person, you know.
Yeah.
A flying animated sword that's as big as a person.
A flying animated sword that's as big as a person simply appears out of thin air in Cassie Jones' hands.
Yeah. And so then I'm going to pick the bat back up. So I got the bat in one hand and I got the sword in the other. And I'm going to throw the sword like a boomerang. So it just whips around all of them. And then as that's happening, I'll do a double action. So I will take the penalty.
Okay.
I'm going to run forward with my baseball bat and smash the brains in.
All right. Give me 2 fighting checks. 1 for the sword and 1 for the bat. Both at a 2-point penalty.
Absolutely. Fighting for both. So Mercy got an 11, so that I beat it by 5.
By 5.
And then I got a 12, so I beat it by 4.
All right. With Mercy, you stab into the side of one of these rifle-wielding men, and it cuts him from shoulder to hip, separating the 2 body parts rather graphically. And that's kind of what turns most of their attention for a second. They're looking at this giant flying sword that just cut a guy in half. And one of them is still looking at it when he turns his head just back in time.
On the off chance that there is anything left of either the horseless carriage or Pete's car seat in said carriage, have some hashtag meta point so Cassie can possibly stop crash landing, well, everywhere.
Thank you, Chad. We now have 2 meta points in the store.
Thank you, Pat.
And 2 more of the gunmen are down as we go to Brony / Cordwood Pete.
What's the curb weight on these steam-powered horseless carriages?
Just under 2,000 pounds.
I'm going to go ahead and lift one up and throw it at someone, too, because my friend did it, and I like doing what he does.
Yes, I have a plan
athletics
for the 3 of us boys. I have a plan for us later.
Why just the 3 boys?
Beat it by 9.
Prop reasons only.
It requires penises.
You throw it through the air. Now, this time, they're a little more prepared for crashing down carriages, and the one that's already there kind of gives them a little bit of property. So, only 2 of them are crushed underneath that toss.
Does that mean there's only 1 left?
Nope, there are 4 gunmen and 2 steam-powered golems left.
All right,
we're going to go to John Henry next.
Okay, so who's
John Henry?
Oh my god, you just made me the happiest girl in the whole.
Hey, all right, that's twice now.
Yeah, I was going to say. I thought that was like a year ago.
wait till tonight.
I'm not the only one shorter than my brother, baby. Wait. No. How is Sam? Anyway, moving on.
So, as far as the enemies, who is in play? Who is?
You have 4 armed thugs with rifles who claim to be law enforcement, and they're supported by 2 steam-powered golems, 10-foot-tall mechanical monstrosities with hammers in place of hands, usually used for industrial work. They are the 2.0 version of the machine that you once bested.
Okay, so there are 4 guys and 2 golems, but how many the 2 guys that are still in action?
There are 4 of the riflemen are still in action, and 2 of the golems are still in action. There are 8 dead riflemen.
Oh, okay.
6 of them have been crushed.
Ever since I saw the golems, I've been itching because I'm like, oh, I can't believe they brought these are the same. Oh, okay. They went there. All right.
I like the idea that they're powered by the same heart that you have too. You know, like
I'm very competitive, as it says here on my character sheet. Very, very competitive. So
you, in fact, are very competitive.
I make a beeline right for one of the golems and introduce him to my hammer. And by hammer, I mean my hammer. And by my hammer, I mean my sledgehammer.
All right.
I mean my steel driving. Anyway.
I'll take a fighting check from you, sir.
Let's see. All right, here. Rolling's on 8.
Yep.
Oh, really? Okay, so I beat that by 12.
That is a critical success. So what is double the listed damage?
Oh, cool. Double listed damage is hammer damage is 40, so that'll be 80.
80 damage. With
Damn.
a quick running start, John Henry winds up and swings that hammer, and the impact separates the legs from the body of this steam-powered golem, leaving the legs remaining, standing perfectly upright, and the body flies somewhere out into the cattle pasture, far beyond.
did you see that? He drove that steel at least 15 feet.
Should have used a 9-iron.
After John, we have the 4 riflemen and the 1 steam-powered golem. It is, of course, going to go after John Henry, who just destroyed the one next to it. Because machines always dislike John Henry for some reason.
Well, it's because he's better than they are.
What is your dodge, John Henry?
My dodge. Well, it has a Hemi. And it is a +2.
A +2 bonus. I have a success by 2, but that does not beat your dodge bonus, my friend. And the hammer swings down from the steel golem, and you easily sidestep the blow. And it creates a pretty high fountain of dirt from the impact. Perhaps swinging as hard as you just did. It's hard to say. The 4 men with rifles, of them, 1 is going to open fire at each of you with a pair of them in total, firing at Joe, who launched the carriage through the air with the hammer. They would fire at Pete, but he's short and a harder target. I have 1 success by 5 against you, Joe.
That will 100% hit me. I have a dodge bonus of 0.
Ah.
Whoa.
And then I have a success by 1 against you, Brony. And it's going to be using Brony Robbins' dodge bonus because you are much further or closer to that than you are to Fordwood Keats.
I have 6, +6, so.
Yeah, that is not even going to come close to hitting you. But Joe is going to be hit once. The rifle does 30 damage, Joe. Which I think, in Joe's case, it might not do anything at all.
Well, he's got his Patreon armor, too.
I think there's something listed on those abilities there that might help with taking damage.
Yeah, I'm made of steel. I think I'm okay.
The bullet bounces off of Joe, falling to the ground, flattened. after the strike. And we'll go back to Joe as the combat continues.
I pick the bullet up off the ground and pop it in my mouth and start chewing.
Oh, that's great. They'll say you eat bullets. Oh, it's good.
And I'm going to continue to chew this bullet throughout the entire round. What I would like to do this round is, we have meta points available?
There are 2 meta points available and 2 moments of clarity.
Beautiful. I'm spending those meta points.
All right, spending both meta points.
Going towards Crash.
Oh.
Very nice.
I am going to be, my action this round is I am going to assist John Henry in driving this second golem into the ground.
Uh-huh. All right.
I'm going to use You Can Count on Old Joe supporting.
Tell us about You Can Count on Old Joe.
No.
When supporting allies with the assist action, Joe gives a +4 bonus on a success rather than a 2.
Oh, double the bonus. All right. So what are you going to use to support him? Give me a skill that you will use and how you will apply it to support him.
Metalworking.
All right. Give me a metalworking skill test.
Got to use bigger dice for it, but I think I can still do it. Yeah, that's not a problem. That's only a 4. So metalworking is an 18. So I beat it by 14.
Beat it by 14. So that's going to make it a critical success, which again ups that bonus. So that means when we get to John Henry, he will get a +8 bonus going against that golem. It's going to be pretty impressive. After Joe, we have Rosie / Cassie Jones up.
You know, it's funny because I always hear them being referred to as tall tales, right? That's what they're called, tall tales?
Yep.
Right, okay, I'm going to cast a spell on our good friend Pete and make him the same size as one of the golems.
Give me a sorcery test, please.
Wait, is he still on my shoulders?
No, he got off.
But that would be entertaining.
Oh wait, I would like to use a moment of clarity for this. Actually, I'd like to roll.
All
8s.
right, moment of clarity used. You get to use 8s.
And thank God I did. I beat my sorcery by 3.
That is enough. You will in fact make Cordwood Pete 10 feet tall for a limited amount of time. That is quite impressive, and it is in fact the 10-foot tall Cordwood Pete who is next.
Oh my God, Paul Bunyan's here. Pete, did you see?
Wow, cool. So, how are the riflemen lined up?
They're pretty scattered apart because they were avoiding the horseless carriages that got hurled at them.
Okay. So they're kind of in a, were they in type of an arc, maybe?
They were in a line originally, but now they're kind of just scattered because they took off running when those horseless carriages came flying in.
All right. So the way I see it, this logging axe I have on my person, unless I'm naked now, everything kind of grew with me.
Everything grew with you.
So I'm going to go ahead and do a really, really long swing with this logging axe through as many of these riflemen as I can in an arc or however that goes.
Give me a fighting test there, please.
Fighting or athletics? Yeah. It's the same.
You can use fighting.
Isn't this the one Cordwood Pete story?
Well, it was going to be I was going to chop down the golem on top of them, but you decided you wanted to hammer the golem into the ground. I was gonna be like, I'm going to chop this tree down like Paul Bunyan, only better because it's metal, and he just chops down real trees like a jerk. So now I'm going to go with I'm cutting up riflemen from afar.
You get to use Brony's fighting score because you're closer to Brony, which might be a better fit for you. Because Brony's
beat it by 11. Well, beat it by 11.
He kills everybody.
Yeah, you're going to go ahead and cut down all 4 of the remaining riflemen in that broad swing, even though they are nowhere near each other, and it is probably beyond physics to actually do so. You somehow manage to connect with all of them in one really elaborate swing of the axe.
Good Journey Quest assassin kick.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the Journey Quest assassin kick. And that will put us to John Henry next, with the 1 remaining steam power golem, who's going to get a +8 bonus to his roll from the assist by Joe.
Damn, +8.
So the golem is just there. Yeah, and I haven't fought this golem yet, have I?
It tried to hit you, but
Right.
it missed.
And how tall are these golems?
10 feet tall.
Yeah. So I square up on him, look at him, and say, Mr. Golem, right now it wouldn't matter if I was 2'2". I'm gonna knock your head off. And I just swing. Because I don't care. I got a +8 bonus on this. So
Swinging for the head. All right, give me a fighting test, and you get a +8 bonus courtesy of good old Joe.
He's going to hit that head off so far, there's going to be joy in Mudville.
I'm excited.
all right.
Soup foot! Soup!
Okay, fighting. Okay, here we go. Beat it by 10.
Beat it by 10. That is a critical success. And with a wind-up swing aimed just for the head, you catch it right underneath what would be the chin if it was a person, pulling the head free from the steam power golem's body. As it launches up, the steam from the torso shoots out of the neck, propelling the head even further in the air until it disappears out of sight, far above you, into the clouds. A few seconds pass.
Wait, and we call the moon.
A few seconds pass after that, and then it comes down about 100 yards away, way out in the cattle fields, with a loud crash into the dirt. And the body topples over.
Go!
I want to wear the golem body as a big mechanical body for myself, making me 10 feet tall permanently.
Suck on Paul. Ladies, I'm so sorry for that aggressive display.
I will name the vehicle Compensator.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for that display, ladies. However, I just really don't like it when a gentleman threaten a woman. So I got a little heated there. But it looks like you are all right, all in one piece.
We are now. They were going to threaten to kill my cattle if I did not tell them where Butch Cassidy is.
They were going to take your way of life away from you.
That's terrible. Where is Butch Cassidy?
I don't even know Butch Cassidy.
Those are some high stakes.
The people at the bank said that you have relations with him.
Oh,
along with all of the other women at this ranch.
Well, that's not entirely true. But you can tell that both women are obviously very nervous and shuffle them from foot to foot.
I'm so sorry for just intruding and asking these questions. Would you mind if we came in and maybe just had a cup of coffee after that battle? I'm a little tired. Wouldn't mind sitting down and just having a conversation with you.
Why don't you come on inside? And with that,
good.
folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in less than 10 minutes, probably closer to 5. We'll see you guys soon with more Masters of the Metaverse. We will be right back.
See you in a minute, y'all.
It's raining outside.
I don't see sunny or rainy. They're all just days to me.
Okay, but clearly it's raining.
Is it? I mean, yes, obviously it is, but just to play devil's advocate for a moment, is it really?
Yes, yes it is. Look outside.
So you want it to be sunny all the time. Is that what you want? You want constant sunshine. Have you ever heard of a drought?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that it's raining.
Look, don't be such a hater. All days matter.
Dude, just look outside.
You know, my cousin was caught in a snowstorm last year. Where was the outrage then?
I'm just pointing out.
It rains so much more in India. You have to deal with so much less weather in this part of the world, but I don't know why you're complaining. True, it was raining, but it's completely stopped now. Ancient history. Get over yourself. I studied meteorology in high school, and the term is actually precipitation. The climate changes are clearly part of a natural cycle that has nothing to do with us. So, rain should be underrepresented. Maybe rain just writes better science fiction. This kind of negativity just propagates the conservative agenda. People who wear raincoats anyway, right? F you. You ignorant Did you back and your or were you just that way? I hope you get rained on. That'll teach you a lesson. To push this dry-hating cumulonimbus bull.
I think we've had a little misunderstanding. Maybe we should go outside, take a walk. You can get some fresh air.
In the rain?
We get the final insert here and
All
then
right.
break for second meal.
All right. Warm pocket cheese. I'm in. All right.
So are you familiar with how to fondle a nipple?
Nick? Yes.
Nick, I'm gonna shoot Christian's face. Shooting Christian's face.
Oh, come on.
No, you're gone.
All right. So apparently
We're
this
gonna
is
make a
just
movie.
like handling a nipple.
Okay.
So more pinch really hard
than isn't.
I'm going to pinch the
Okay.
nipple.
I'll pull focus now.
Work.
I need the back of your head, sir, and the front of yours.
It works at night.
Do you know?
No,
It's usually Ben that does.
Okay, okay. The sound of silence, because he's off camera and not talking, and Armageddon on that. Come on.
still a double.
Whatever. Yes, I can do this.
Thanks.
No, you have to help.
Oh, what do I
Just
need
take
to do?
this here, and then
We'll
we're.
start on Leo's face before we go down. Get out.
Wow. Really? Huh. We gonna make a movie?
How does this work?
I don't know.
This is awesome.
I'm usually over there.
Okay. What happens if I twist this?
Hey,
What?
wanna tune my mandolin?
Oh,
Come on, come on!
What's wrong with you?
Jeez, his words.
Sure.
What? What are you doing here?
Red car.
That is too big.
Ben's mom. Come on. What? Ben's mom is off limits.
What I've heard.
Oh, get out. Out. Hey. What? Oh, really? Wait. Why am I even in here? You're filling in for Andy. Okay. I don't even have to go. I just. Wait. Here you go. Are you serious? Seriously? Okay.
Hey everybody, we are back here with more Masters of the Metaverse on the Zombie Orcs Entertainment Channel on Twitch. Some fun adventures in the alternate Weird West. If you are just joining us, we've got 4 legends of the Weird West on a quest to revive the tall tale, starting with one, Butch Cassidy. You've been invited into the home of Anne and Josie Bassett to have some coffee. Mm-hmm.
Good. Vampire.
So, why are you looking for this Butch Cassidy anyway?
This is going to sound stupid, but we would like to help him dodge the law for as long as it takes for his legend to grow.
See, there's a shortage of legends. There's this. We're all being put into tiny little boxes that we're all supposed to fit in. We're all supposed to wear the same clothes, walk in straight lines, and that just sounds like the worst thing possible. I mean, life is about living. And,
Butch said the same. I mean,
look what you did there.
Oh no.
It's okay. Don't worry. Look, man needs a legendary outlaw gang to back him up. That's what we are.
And you really want to help him?
No, but it's our job right now.
All right. There's some canyons not far from here. He calls them Robber's Roost. It's where him and his gang are hiding out. So it's a maze of canyons in there. They thought it would keep the law off them for a while.
Now, 2 quick questions for you. First being, is there, when we approach the canyon, they're not going to know that we are friend or foe. And I'm wondering, is there maybe a special phrase the 2 of you have, or maybe something we could say to prove that we are in the good graces of yourself, and therefore hopefully in the good graces of him?
I've never been there yet. They're still keeping things pretty secret so that no one knows the way in or out. But it's just a maze in there. I'm sure if you go in there, they're going to know you're there before you know them.
Right. No, I know, but I assume that they're going to make us prove that we're not there to cause any harm. That we just want to show them that we're helpful. I'm wondering if maybe the 2 of you have like something special that you could share with us so that we can prove.
I'm sorry. He comes here when he needs things.
All right. Second question, out of curiosity, do you know why he chose to rob the bank?
Well, he was kind of saying what you said, that people deserve to live lives, not be put in tiny little boxes and trapped. So he was wanting to build a special place there in Robber's Roost where people could come and live and be free.
So he took the money to build a better future.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. This coffee is delicious, by the way. Best I've ever had.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How many of them did you say there was altogether?
Well, Butch has only got 3 people with him for now. His old partner and the McCarty brothers.
Which canyon is this?
Robber's Roost. It's a maze of canyons.
Okay. I don't know. I don't like touching my brother's stuff, so just want to make sure.
Wait a minute. Are you Coldwood Pete?
Yeah.
Now, Cordwood, don't you be looking down, boy. They recognize you. That means you're a legend, too.
You know, being a legend's great and all, but I'm shorter when I kneel than when I stand up. I mean, it's a problem. You're taller when I kneel. That joke sucked. I'm also bad at that. Paul Bunyan got all the joke books.
Yes, but from what I understand, he can't read them. So
That's true. That's true.
Now, if I could impose on you lovely ladies one more time, if you wouldn't mind, if you get questioned about what happened here, or you happen to go into town and someone asks you, could you give a full recount of exactly what happened here and and he grew 3 times his size. I called the sword out of nowhere. Mr. Henry here just smacked that steam-powered golem, and it flew ahead.
You want us to tell people what happened here?
Hashtag MetaPoint. This next part is going to be amazing, I just know it. Words cannot encompass my excitement for it. I had a job as a maze designer once, but it was a dead-end job.
That was good. Thank you, Merc.
Thank you, Merc. And we've got 3 more meta points. Guys.
Merc was waiting for the right angle to bring that joke in.
But yes, I would love for you to tell them exactly what happened here. You are innocent. You had nothing to do with it. But we came in, and I mean, wait,
hold on. Do you want them to tell the story of what happened, or do you want them to tell your version of the story that happened? Because you're just telling them everything that just happened.
No, they saw with their very own eyes what happened.
Right.
We're just pulling up details.
My question is, why are you recounting to these ladies what they have already seen with their own eyes? Yes.
These steaks are great, by the way. Very fresh.
Well, shall we go?
Indeed, we shall. Thank you for the hospitality. And if you ever need anything, and we're around, we'll help you. I can't say give us a call. They don't have phones.
Like I said, it's a telegram. Except that we ain't got no address or nothing.
So on the way out, I'm going to pick up 2 of the least destroyed bodies of the fallen riflemen.
Okay.
That I'm assuming, are they uniformed or?
Oh yeah, they are
Great.
uniformed.
That should be all. Yeah, I figured that'll be all we need to get us in the canyons safely after some time, as long as we bring a peace offering.
We should definitely take the company car too, the one with the markings on it. We should take the one that we didn't throw.
Well, we could take my vehicle.
We should take the one with the company markings on it, or swap parts until it looks like a company car. If we're doing the suits.
I'm thinking we should pour over the remains of them golems and see if we can use them to maybe fashion some kind of machinery that we might need, or armor.
I want to wear this one.
I can scrap the other one for some parts.
I mean, I'm probably not going to get to wear this one because it sounds like the steam goes right up the neck hole, which probably wouldn't be fun for me, but maybe we can fix it.
We can maybe cut a hole in the butt for a vent, and it can just shoot out there.
It's fine by me.
I feel like I can do something to help you.
I'm just saying I want to be tall and famous, okay?
Sure, buddy.
I think you really need to let that go. You're famous just fine the way you are.
The Cordwood Pete in me wants to be tall, and the Brony in me really just wants to ride around in a giant steam-powered mech, so...
The crash part of me is 100% down of that, so let's do it.
The bucket seats up there. Let's.
James, I'll do what I can to make that happen if you'll allow it.
Well, the entirety of the body is basically a boiler for the steam unit that powers it. So attaching some kind of seat would be easier, and then you'd still need some kind of controls.
But I feel like with the wreckage of the other one, we can make that happen.
And we've got 2 cars with all their steerage and everything.
We'll just grab some steering wheels and some axles and just get that sucker going.
I mean, I have engineering. I'll roll it for you.
Yeah, I'm more than interested in seeing what you guys concoct there.
I am far away from Cassie, though, so I'm actually going to use that other moment of clarity because I really want this to happen for my teammate.
Okay.
Excellent. I beat it by 6.
By 6 on the
Thank you for the
engineering.
moment of clarity.
Can I do an engineering assist, please?
Absolutely.
Because what's important on Metaverse is that we support each other's dreams.
I beat it by 6, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Patreon bonus to beat it by 10 so I can give you a +8 on that roll, Maggie.
Thank you, Christian.
That makes it a critical success. So the parts you managed to fit together in just the perfect way, so that even the arms are usable from the mounted seat at the top for Cordwood Pete.
Yay!
Who really,
did it!
who really, in a sitting position, isn't a whole lot bigger than the head that was originally mounted up there.
Way to kick me out the door. Thanks. Doesn't matter. Steam mech. I'm good.
We put a little ladder on the back that you can climb up and hop in.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna look at some parts just for very simple stuff. Make like a breastplate and like a bracer for myself.
Nice.
Oh, some armor.
Yeah.
Some armor for John Henry. All right. Why don't you give me an engineering roll there, John Henry? You're attempting something a lot easier.
Can I assist him with metalworking?
Absolutely, you can.
I love my job.
I don't know that I need it for something this simple, but all right.
We're going to see how effective it is.
You already beat it by 5.
That's good.
And now you've beat it by 9.
So what I wanted was a full wraparound, like a bulletproof vest kind of chest piece thing, and just a bracer.
All right, as long as you're wearing that suit of armor, unless a place is targeting another location, you can treat that as though you have armor 20 against attacks as John Henry.
Yeah.
Cool. So not completely impervious to things, but it can take quite a bit of the edge off of attacks that do manage to land through. And let's face it, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And now what, heroes?
We go to the canyon.
Yep. Take a few cop bods with us to, to strap to the hood so they know we're not with them.
All right, with dead bodies strapped to the hood of the horseless, steam-powered carriage, you head off to the southwest in the direction of Robber's Roost, which does not take very long to reach with the enhanced speed of Cassie Jones at the wheel. You actually have to end up waiting for a little while.
It's never the getting there that's the problem. It's the stopping once we do.
I really want to try one more time, but I'm afraid you guys might kill me.
Maggie, you might kill us.
And just so you know, I did arrive with them because I took 2 of the other wrecked cars and used them like roller skates and just kind of hooky bob there on the back of her steam-powered car. In a giant steam mech.
A roller skating giant steam mech being pulled behind the horse carriage. Okay.
You want a legend? That's a legend.
By 8.
I'm sorry. Well, what is that phrase you used?
I'm sorry?
Well, all those crashes have built up enough experience that this time you time it just right, and just as you're reaching the entrance to those canyons, you slide the steam-powered carriage sideways, including pulling Cordwood Pete on his steam-powered mech behind it, also sliding sideways to a complete stop. And the trails in here are just too narrow for a horseless carriage to follow any further. But there are fresh horse tracks on the ground.
Nice.
See, that was cool, right? See, that was good.
All right. Well, I guess I get off the steam mech.
The steam mech can make it through, but the horseless carriage cannot. It's a little
spots.
Before we get out, I lay on the horn.
It is a steam engine horn, so it's more like a train whistle.
Yeah.
As you let off pressure.
Just want them to let them know we're there. So if they have, spotters or lookouts, I don't want them to think that we're trying to sneak up on them.
Fair enough. And you begin.
Then we go to the trunk and we grab out the 2 giant hammers that we've got.
And you move into the canyons. And you are walking for quite some distance. You hit a couple of different dead ends, a couple of places you just gotta turn back because they become too steep. And eventually you think you're on the path that they probably used to get in here with horses. And you're pretty sure that you're being watched at some point. A couple of times rocks fall from on high on one of the canyon walls. Maybe something moves just a little bit out of sight.
Right, so my instinct is to just like say hello really loud so that they know we know, but I also feel like maybe I should consult you guys before I just start yelling.
You mean so different than last time?
But I'm trying to learn.
Well, you managed to learn to drive today.
See? 2 for 2.
For 2?
1 for 3, technically.
And that's when you spot them, a pair of men on top of one of the nearby canyon walls, pointing rifles down at you. That's about far enough.
Right here, I take a step forward. So I'm in front of everybody.
You don't look like lawmen to me.
We're not. We brought some dead ones, though.
You bounty hunter?
I wave my giant hammer hand.
No. Look, that's John freaking Henry.
Oh. Is that John Henry? Yeah, I think that's John Henry. Are you John Henry?
No, he's John Henry.
What you boys doing down here?
We're keeping watch. I'm McCarty. This is my other brother. He's McCarty also.
What you watching out for?
The law. We heard that they might be trying to come in and find us.
Yeah, well, we killed about a dozen or so over at Josie's place, the Bassett Ranch.
You killed a
She says hello.
Well, hell. I guess Butch and Matt probably want to hear about that. All right, then. We're going to take you into the canyons here, into the heart, but you can't tell no one how to get here. All right? It's our secret.
Scout's honor.
Okay. And it takes them a minute, but they take a little trail to finally get down to where you are and then lead you deeper into the Robber's Roost maze. And you reach a point that it's kind of an opening, like a bowl in the middle of one of the pathways. And there's a simple little cabin that somebody looks like they hand built, a couple of chicken coops, and there's even a cow there. Rosie, with your rodeo experience, you can see that the cow has one of the brands of the Bassett Ranch on the side.
I assumed.
There are 2 men waiting at the cabin. They seem rather surprised as you approach, particularly the steam-powered mech. One of them is blonde, short-haired, rather handsome, and you're pretty sure that's Butch Cassidy. Well, shit, Charlie. Who the hell are these folks?
How does nobody know who we are? I'm Joe Mazurek. I'm like the most famous person in Pennsylvania.
Oh, hell, I heard of you, Joe.
And that's John freaking Henry. And that's Paul Bunyan.
Yes. No. I want to be famous on my own. Pete Bunyan. Obliged. Like, kind of raise my hammer hand awkwardly because it's probably not super articulated.
No, it is not. It's pretty primitive. All right, then. And what about you, miss?
Cassie Jones.
No shit.
All of it.
So, long story short, Mark Twain sent us on a mission to come help you be a legend.
And we have some experience with that because clearly we are legends.
Yes. So, we are your new gang.
We should steal Edison's motion picture machine because I think we can get him to Sundance, kid.
Oh.
Like the film festival on Prime.
Somehow I'm now shorter up here on this thing than I've ever been in my real life.
So I guess why don't you all make yourself comfortable? McCarty's, why don't you two go back on watch? Keep an eye out. See if any more of them lawmen are coming.
Cordwood, you should try a better joke. I think you can.
You're so supportive.
I can't work when I'm angry, and up here I'm definitely a little steamed. So,
you punk.
He's been tall for 25 minutes and already he's punching down.
When the only thing you have is a fist, you can only punch down. A very tall fist. I'm
So,
very tall right now.
Butch, are you expecting to be attacked? Are we just hanging out, riding it out? Are you?
Well, we figured maybe they won't find us in here. There's all the maze of canyons and such.
They will.
Well,
So do you have a plan?
Hoping they weren't. Well, not yet, but I'm working on it. Me and Matt Warner here, we're coming up with a plan.
You and who?
This is Matt Warner. He's my partner.
Matthew, nice to meet you.
For no reason in particular, do we know how these canyons were formed? For no reason, it has nothing.
They are not the type of canyon that you're thinking of. Your brother Paul had nothing to do with this.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this group is prone to get caught in areas that do rapid flooding, which also causes canyons. Just checking.
Yeah, that was definitely the cause of this, a really long time ago.
Okay. As long as
I can't decide if you're bringing that up as brilliant or terrifying.
just thinking about it. For some reason, I think about getting drowned a lot these types of times. So,
Well, with a name like Cordwood, I reckon you're pretty good at floating.
when you're up to your neck in a kiddie pool, it's you worry about it a lot.
Wait, they have a pool just for kittens?
Yes. What do you fill it with?
Kittens.
Yes.
That sounds like the nicest pool I've ever heard of.
Well, we're just about to have a spotted dinner here. Yeah,
the ones on top, yeah.
Absolutely, we'd love to have dinner with you.
And don't worry about pitching in. We're happy to help. After all, we are your new gang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that'd be all right. Yeah. Oh.
So,
Joe, might I have a word with you for a moment?
Absolutely, Mr. Henry.
So, Joe, I just want to make sure we're thinking the same thing. Now, you talking about being a new gang, and I ain't too keen on breaking the law. You know what I mean? It's not something I do.
We're not here to break the law. We are here to save the West. These boxes wouldn't be here if not for us. Everywhere.
All right.
The law would not be as heavy-handed if not for us. We drove the steel and built the trains that made all of this possible for Edison and his cronies. This is a chance for us to make something right and to relive the times of the other great legends of the West.
All right. Well, if this kid wants to make some history, that's fine. But if he comes starting wanting to harm some innocents, I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Well, that's the other reason we're here, then, isn't it? We have to make sure it's a good legend and not a bad one. If he is guided properly, he could be something. Maybe he has some fantastic skill. Maybe he can rope a whirlwind like Pecos Bill by the time we are done with him. Otherwise, he's just a lost cause criminal and we put him down like one.
All right, as long as you and me thinking the same thing.
Hey, if one of us ends up having to be Butch Cassidy so that we have this legend, that's the way we'll do it. But For now, maybe we'll give the kid a shot.
Fair enough.
He's the only one out here who's doing anything different than anyone else. Let's see where it leads. Maybe he has a heart to match his gumption.
So you join Matt Warner and Butch Cassidy for dinner. It's a rather small and simple meal, and a little thin spread out among all 6 of you, but they weren't expecting guests.
We also have rations. I'm more than happy to use some of the food that we got from the Twain
Excellent.
residents to add, so it's not so.
All right, it is not so sparse.
Share some bourbon.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So I guess if you're my gang, I should probably come up with a name for the gang. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really new to this whole thing. It was only my first bank I ever robbed. I never robbed a bank before, and I'm not sure I'm going to rob any more banks because there were too many ways people could get hurt. They could go wrong that way. I think I want to find something a little smarter to rob where people won't get shot as much. Maybe.
I give old John Henry a knowing look.
It's called the office take.
Yep.
And then we clank hammerheads together.
Touch him.
If you don't mind sharing, Butch, while we're ruminating on a name,
You don't need to do that, by the way, Butch.
No?
No. Papers will do it for you.
Oh.
Let your exploits name you. No hubris, man.
That's a really great idea.
So,
That's a great idea. Thanks.
what was your intention? I mean, you robbed a bank and you took, we heard, around $7,000, and I guess the lovely ladies that we spoke to led us to believe that maybe you want to create a better world, a better place to live with all these rigid rules.
Yeah, we were going to start here in the Roost. We were going to build some homes. A couple more cabins over that way, maybe a few up there on that ridge, and bring in some cattle and place for
$7,000 is a mighty lot of money.
It is. It's enough to really get a good start, but with the wall out there, we're going to need more, and to get people coming that are willing to risk their lives and risk their livelihood against the company, are going to need some proper incentive for them. Plus, I don't like Edison that much, and I like taking his money.
We're here because we took his money. That's not as great as it's cracked up to be, my friend.
So, I mean, establishing yourself here is going to be hard against the company because their funds are endless, and they can just keep bringing more people to stop you and change you. So, do you have a long-term plan? I mean, are you going to set up? Is this going to be a constant battle?
Well, it might be here in the start, but I figure I get enough folks. Maybe I can change some popular opinion around. If I get people in Salt Lake and Denver and far and wide, maybe if they don't like Edison so much, maybe if they like me a little better, they might not be willing to cooperate.
May I suggest, just off the top of my head, just like random thought, you should build a saloon?
Well, I suppose that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like saloons.
Who doesn't?
They're like bars, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
So what are you said you don't want to rob a bank anymore. Do you have any other ideas of what you're thinking of? Maybe.
Well, me and Matt were talking about it before you got here, and this is going to sound crazy, but
you're going to start another corporation, eventually get big enough to take them over, hostile takeover, buy their voting share. That does sound crazy. We should rob a train instead.
Well, yeah, that's what me and Matt were just saying this. If we could find a way to rob a train. Now, they keep all the money in them special armored cars on the train, and don't have to worry about the people as much. It doesn't have to be in a town where there's innocent folks everywhere, and we can choose where we want to get on board the train at, and it just seems like it might be the smarter move. They'll never know when we're going to strike them, and they always got to use the trains because that's how they move everything. Edison relies on those trains. He needs them.
And now we have a plan. You know we're not going to be able to stay here, though. This is This canyon only has one way in.
Oh, that's not true.
Really?
There are some secret ways for those of us that know about it. We spent a long time figuring out how robbers use stone, and nobody knows the ins and outs like we do.
So,
where is the train in relation to the canyon?
The nearest train tracks are probably more than 70 miles away.
Ah, damn. With two amazing steel drivers, we could just literally reroute the track.
That's what I'm thinking. We lay track all the way. And just put a little switch, and before you know it, they're ended up parked in a canyon in the middle of the night with no idea how they got there.
I love it.
That's legendary.
And then our girl Cassie, she can just crash the whole train for you.
Yes, she can.
So, Cassie, can you do a donut in a train?
Cannot do.
You don't
steer so well.
So you're saying you could put down train tracks so that the train went somewhere besides where it was supposed to go to?
Yeah, we could bring it right here, just right to you. It's like a delivery.
Oh, I wouldn't want it here because then they might be able to find their way back here. But
right, but a second set of secret tracks that goes to a location of our choosing.
Yes, that might be an interesting thing. We could put a spur on the tracks, and before they know it, they'd be miles away from where they intended to be, especially if they had folks that were supposed to be waiting for them.
And then we have the tracks circle back around, so they're just taking a parallel route, and they end up in the same place eventually. We'll have a certain number of miles to get the job done.
You can put a couple of nice whistle stops on there, maybe do like some bookstores or something. They'll fall for it, make a little profit.
A little Hudson News.
Hudson
News and a Chick-fil-A.
No Chick-fil-A.
You can sell some fried green tomatoes there?
Yeah.
At that Whistle Stop Cafe.
Mm.
We should just put a Joe's in.
Well, they had a Josie's already.
There's always room for more Joe's.
There there's always room for more Joe's.
So when you say robbing the train, how do you feel about stealing the train?
Like the whole train?
Uh-huh.
What better base of operations for a mobile outlaw gang?
And eventually a nice breakfast restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about breakfast restaurants, but a train wouldn't be all that bad. We just need to go out on our own track, otherwise they'd be able to find us.
That's what we are proposing.
Train robber. Train thief?
Boom. Never been done.
Oh, so good. No, you're right. No one's ever stolen a whole train before.
It would be It would be the crime of the century. Plus, you'd get enough money out of it.
It's only like a few more years of the century, so we need to hurry.
It's a good plan, but I don't have the kind of manpower it'd take to do that kind of railroad work, and I don't know nothing about railroads.
You literally have me and John Henry.
Yeah.
And a robot with hammer hands.
Oh,
I got this.
Yeah, I suppose that might work then. Yeah.
So where I figure, we lay down some track right into a cliffside, get ourselves a whole lot of black paint, paint a big old hole in the cliffside, and the train will go right through it.
Alternatively, we could actually make a tunnel there.
Well, all right. That too.
Oh, all right then. This is a good plan.
No, it's a crazy plan, and that's exactly why we have to do it.
Yes.
So, my question is, do we know when to expect the next train?
Two hammers are better than one. Plus whatever the heck Pete has in his steam mech. Hashtag team up.
All right, you got a team up in the store.
I love team ups. They're my favorite. Now I can do the thing I really want to do.
Well, I got a person who keeps me apprised of situations. They don't know about the whole train thing yet, but I could suppose maybe get word to them and find something out.
It would be helpful to know when the next one is due to arrive, so that we know when we have to be complete. We don't want to be caught off guard.
Ann and Josie, they help me out quite a bit too.
We're going to need some steel.
Yeah. We kind of need to plan this out. We don't want to go off the rails in this crazy train.
Aye.
I'm tracking what you're talking about.
Oh.
So where are we going to get that steel?
Well,
the nose.
In the word.
It always knows. I can smell steel from 20 miles away, no problem. It runs through my blood.
Not using your blood to make train bricks.
No, it'd only be good for about 3 rails.
Right.
Well,
point us to the steel. Let's start mining.
They're always moving material, to Salt Lake and from the other places from back east. Maybe we just steal a train loaded with steel.
We have to build the track before we steal the train.
We have to rob a train to steal a train.
What we can do in Salt Lake is rob a train yard. We'll have all the raw material we need.
But how do we get it out?
We build as we go. We get Pete on a hand cart, pushing the car full of raw material that we have, while John Henry and I run out ahead and lay track.
I can do
All
that.
right. So y'all head to Salt Lake because we can't be seen there, and get started on that end. And I'm gonna go meet up with some of my folks and try and find out when a good train to steal will be, and we'll meet back here in the roost. And how long you need to lay that track?
So
70 miles, you said? We should be able to do that if we work at night, 3 days.
So just to clarify, we don't want to take the track. It's because they need to keep their trains running and not build suspicion, right? So that's why we're not taking existing track.
Yeah, it's more magical. I mean, if we took the track and moved it, then they go, oh well, clearly.
For this to work, they have to not realize there is another track.
Okay.
Or even know about it.
Right, but for the tall tale aspect and for the glory here is that if the original train track is intact and we stole a train, where did it go? How do you steal a train? I mean, that's the trick. But if they see the tracks have been removed and changed, they'll go, oh, well, someone clearly moved the track. So they didn't.
Normally to make a train disappear, though, you don't need steel. We need to find some kind of copper field to mine. All right, what's steel in Salt Lake?
Well, there is quite an extensive amount of foundries and construction work going on there at Salt Lake, especially shipping stuff further west to the new coastal towns that are beginning to boom up there.
Perfect.
So we take that.
Let's take it.
The people at the foundry will help me. I can convince them to send the truck to us.
All right, so we meet back here in the roost in 4 days and plan our robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll see you in 4 days. We're going to saddle up and go meet up with some folks and try and figure out what best train to rob.
Steel.
Steel. Yeah, that's right. Steel.
And now we have a train building montage.
That's right.
A railroad building montage.
Yeah. So my plan is to go to one of these foundries and to basically get all of the employees and union workers in the town to help us quietly steal all of this steel. And I have an ability that'll help me with that, called Hero of the People.
Ooh.
When attempting to sway large groups of crowds of civilians, I get to roll twice and take the best result.
Nice.
So I'm going to be giving a series of union speeches in Salt Lake City, apparently.
Yeah,
I like it.
You are. So why don't you start us off by giving that series of speeches, and then we'll go on to the next step.
All right. Do you need me to give you the speech? Because
I would like some kind of a speech.
I mean, I've basically given the speech 3 times in this episode already about, we need to get out of the boxes and do something. This will be a way to stick it to the man who sticks it to you every day. We're stronger together than we are apart. Together we can do it. Yes, we can. John freaking Henry.
All right, give me that.
I like to think that the speech is just John and them just going in and him just going, John freaking Henry, and you just do the flesh and they're all like, yo.
I'm just waiting for you to get worse and worse, or not worse and worse, but just like more and more extreme. Be like the true power of a nation lies in its workers, and then all of a sudden the hammer goes up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And make sure you tell them that in the end they'll all end up gods.
Salt Lake, they're used to that. I was gonna say, I know where to get a little bit of gold and a lot of marble, by the way.
Okay, so let's see. Persuasion. All right, so I'm assuming it's a persuasion check.
Yes, it is.
Unless you're going to let me use metalworking to give a speech. I beat it by 3, and I beat it by 8. So I'm taking the 8.
Is the better result. That is quite the successful result. Not only are you able to convince the vast majority of workers to go ahead and do so, but even the ones that aren't so approving and don't sign off have decided they're going to keep their mouth shut about the whole thing. It's none of their business.
I like it.
And
also, just watch John Henry flex.
Yep. And it may be because they watch John Henry flex and they don't want to get punched by John Henry.
And to help it along, to draw a crowd, I fashioned him a set of wings and a big trumpet so he could assemble everybody. Which will further add to the legend of
Brony.
I like that I'm like this badass carrying around a hammer who's basically just John Henry's white friend now.
That's good. It's a good.
You met my famous friend. That's.
I'm like your hype man.
In Pittsburgh, that is famous.
You're the first guy to walk around saying, "Hey, I have a black friend." All right.
Oh God.
Oh. I still hasn't Utah yet.
Painfully relevant humor.
Oh, ow. It hurts my heart.
All right.
Now
give me the cheese factory in Utah, so I had to go to a bank. I took out a Provo loan. Just not.
Oh man,
these are the worst.
No, that was
there are no good at cheese puns.
The problem, Andy, is that you're just too damn good at these bad puns.
It's true.
That was admirable, actually.
There's no good at cheese puns, man.
Oh.
Come on, guys. You can do cheddar. Better.
Okay. I'm sorry, are we gaming with Nathan Rice right now?
No.
I'm standing.
There's still no red cards, right? There's still no red cards.
No red cards in Metaverse.
Okay, good.
By the way, Andy, are you a father?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that explains it.
But I've been making dad jokes since I was like 5.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
All right, tell me about the building process on these on this train track you're doing. I heard the beginning of it, something about Cordwood Pete running the hand cart, and then the two of you.
I think we should take as much as I hate to say this, we should take the steam mech because it is a hammer machine, literally. So we use that to straighten. We'll turn that around and straighten the rails as you guys lay them. So it'll go behind. It'll hammer them straight as we go. While I'm pumping the hand cart, you guys are at the front laying the track and the ties. I think that's the way to do it.
And what about Cassie Jones?
Somebody's got to drive.
Somebody's got to steer. Yeah.
Me.
We just invented the roller coaster.
Yeah, she's got to be at the other end of that hand cart, making sure that we go way faster than we need to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say you need me to go fast?
Did you not hear me?
Oh no, I can go fast.
Oh, you did hear me.
So that just fires me up because I can't resist the challenge. So the faster she goes, the faster I go.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to need some relevant skill checks from people. What was that there?
Do you want driving?
Tell me which one you're using and how you're using it, each one of you.
I'm using athletics to pump the thing.
I'm also using athletics, but I'm in addition to that, I'm going to challenge John Henry to a steel driving contest to see who can get their track laid faster.
Nice.
I beat mine by 8.
So I'm going to use my competitive ability, which means that whenever I am opposed, I get to roll twice and take the best result.
Good man.
So we're just going to go a little Benny Hill thing. Just back and forth.
I love it.
It's like yakety sax played on a banjo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to use 2 meta points.
2 meta points used.
Just so I'm only 1 away from Cassie, so that this roll can be better. And I think I could use driving or I could use piloting. I'm not sure which you would prefer, James. Driving seems more appropriate. I think driving feels more appropriate because I'm going to be steering, even though it's just a hand cart.
We are driving steel, technically, so...
Boom. So I can roll 10s for that. Oh, I beat it by 11.
Ooh, critical success on that one.
I do need to describe, though, the hand cart. The apex is taller than me, so every time I get lifted up a little bit. Yeah. Every time.
And on the way down, you just stick your legs out so you land on your butt.
Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
All right, I still need Joe and John.
I keep
Henry.
picturing Yosemite Sam every time.
And so also, so everybody knows, I also have my other ability is steam-powered heart, which means I cannot become exhausted or fatigued. So I can do this all day. I can do this all day.
I can do this all day. That's perfect.
It's a tough one to beat. All right, I still need Joe and John Henry's results from their relevant skill checks.
Oh, crap.
Call from Lumien. Hi Rosie, you know that Metaverse is red card enabled for when you get into the studio again. Andy, your red card about Ben's mom rolled during the break again.
Clarity!
Thank you for clarity.
In there.
Red cards
You say so many
real?
terrible things, I literally don't even remember what that is.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, chat.
But how do you red card? I'm so confused.
11. I beat mine by 11.
Beat it by 11. And John Henry?
Oh, what am I rolling? What am I rolling?
You tell me which skill you're using and why.
Oh, just engineering.
Okay.
Just because that's the most appropriate one that I have right here.
All right. Give me 2 engineering tests and taste the best result.
Oh man, if we get red carded in the studio, that means we could make like Leo.
Yes.
Play us, and we could run the tech.
Yep.
Oh, that could be fun.
Or an absolute disaster.
Either way, it'll be fun. The disaster, Leo being us on tech, not you being on the show.
So, for this, yeah. So my second roll is better, so I beat that by 4.
Okay. success by 4, success by 11, success by 8, and success by 11. 2 critical successes and 2 regular successes. And you begin laying track faster than any train track has ever been laid in the history of America.
Now, I'm not just doing hammering. I'm also going to be bending as we turn and stuff.
Yeah.
Bending and shaping the tracks. Yep.
Yep.
You're 40% good at this.
Oh, Bender.
It is quite impressive. And over the span of 3 days, you lay out 70 straight miles.
That is an accomplishment.
Even back when you were laying track for Edison, John Henry, no one had ever matched that number before. Not entire railroad crews had ever matched that number.
You.
Sounds legendary. Let's keep track of all this so we can...
My dearest Martha, today we play.
It has been a fortnight since I last ate.
And on the 4th day, you return to Robber's Roost, where Butch Cassidy and his outlaws are waiting for you. Well, how'd it go?
Well, see for yourself.
Train just pulls in.
I found us.
You should put a stop at the end of this new track, though. Just real quick. That's actually not a bad idea.
We know how to build stops. We do.
Yeah, they're easy.
I found a train that I think is worth robbing.
Yeah? What's on it?
Steal it.
Well, usually the trains that are coming from back east are bringing material and payroll for the workers. And I didn't want to steal money from the workers.
Mm-mm.
But I found out that they're mining gold in California and sending that back east. And I figure maybe we could take a train full of gold. Edison's gold.
I think we could.
That's not the
And
same
we'll
as
buy
saying that's,
California from him with his own gold. Where have I heard this before?
that's not even technically stealing money at that point, John Henry. It's just liberating some rocks before they get turned into money.
It's really just a mineral rights dispute. It was Mass Missouri, by the way.
Now, there's one problem with my plan. Those gold trains are usually heavily guarded. So even if we manage to steal the train, there'll be lots of those Edison loyalists to worry about.
Right, but it's not like we're taking them to where their reinforcements are.
No. And on the other plus side of it is Edison doesn't really trust people very much. So most of the security are them golem things. Shooting less people, which I'd prefer the shooting less people part.
I think we all would, and this sounds just perfect.
Golems.
Did you guys hear tell that John Henry hit a golem's head and it went over 100 feet?
It was 100
Straight
yards.
went out
Yards,
of sight.
over 100 yards.
It landed 100 feet. Yeah.
Did you hear that? Isn't that incredible?
I heard some folks talking about it in town, some kind of incident at the Bassett Ranch where a head went as high as the clouds and then came back down.
It sure did.
I wouldn't much mind going to get some golem again.
Well, I think you're going to get your chance, John Henry. So we got some horses here, and we were going to ride along the train as it passes out Salt Lake and Border. And when we get aboard, well, that's when it gets interesting.
At some point, we have to switch the track so they end up on theirs instead of ours instead of theirs.
Yep.
Okay?
I assumed we built that in when we were building the tracks.
Do the switch, yeah.
But
Yeah.
But somebody's going to want to be driving that train when we get there. Make sure so they don't slow it down or stop or anything silly like that.
So you tell me I got to drive a train?
You're literally a train engineer. Is that a problem?
No.
You might even lasso it. I don't know.
Ooh.
I once heard tell of a girl who could do that.
I know one who could.
Or you could just drive the frickin' train.
I'll drive the train, but I'm gonna keep the lasso ideas like the back pocket. Plan B. It's right here.
That should be like Plan F. There are literally at least 6 other things you could do that are less dumb first.
Either way, Cassie, let's run a train.
Let's do it.
What?
All right. The gang of outlaws, accompanied by yourselves, rides out of Robber's Roost to a spot in the hills overlooking the tracks headed out of Salt Lake City.
On the way, I turn back to Butch and I say, you should probably name that something less conspicuous. Call it like Fremont or something. Robber's Roost is dead giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Well,
Maybe the Robber's Lounge or something.
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea, John Henry. Robber's Lounge. Yeah. All right.
All right, everyone. We have a plan.
You have a plan.
Let's go steal us a train.
Just after dawn, you can see the plume of smoke and steam as the train is headed out of Salt Lake in your direction, coming around a bend and passing by the hills. And you start out on the horses heading down the hillside, faster and faster. You get up right alongside the train, just barely keeping pace with it. Everyone give me an athletics test to board the train.
All right. But whose athletics do I want to use?
Beat it by 8.
Beat it by 8.
Woohoo!
Leaps from the saddle and easily one-handed lands aboard the train.
9.
Oh, thank God I rolled well. I beat mine by 7.
John Henry got 9, so that's like critical, right?
One less, but still good.
I didn't know it was 10 or 9.
I beat mine by 1.
Good enough still. You barely catch on at the last minute, but they're easily able to help you aboard, Joe. Leaping onto trains is, leaping from a horse is not something you're really well suited for.
Riding a horse is not something I'm at all suited for. I'm like a 500-pound guy.
I think there's the horse. Yeah.
I'm made of steel. This is a terrible idea.
I'm going to go straight for the driver.
Are you using the outside of the train or attempting to move through the interior?
The top.
Yeah, I was going to just run along the top.
All right,
and
Cassie
then
Jones heads
down.
off for the top, while Butch, Matt Warner, and the McCartys head towards the gold car to secure it, leaving Cordwood Pete, the immortal Joe McGarrick, and John Henry to deal with the golems running security on board. It does not take very long for them to respond to people boarding the train.
See, I was going to go wreck up the caboose just like in college. That way they'd all go back there and we could just decouple the car. Gone.
It's not a terrible idea.
Not a
There's
terrible
no
idea.
reason why you guys couldn't do that right now.
They're going to be following you or chasing after you. If you make them run to the caboose after you, then they're going to run the caboose after you. Smart.
I'll back up Casey as she goes for the engine.
Okay.
And John Henry, would you mind going with Pete to help him take the caboose?
Much obliged to helping out.
All right, let's take a caboose together. High five on the way in. Let's go.
All right, the two of you rush through the back of the train as a half dozen heavily armored steam golems approach. These ones not only have the typical hammer hands that you have seen, but each also has a belly-mounted Gatling gun.
Ah!
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, what has the Gatling gun?
Each of the steam-powered golems has a belly-mounted Gatling gun.
It is really, really impractical. They have
Yes,
to turn their whole bodies.
Like,
steam.
how do they turn the crank?
It's powered by the steam inside of their central engine that runs the rest of them.
Oh, the professor would be
the
turning
bullets are all
over in his grave. He would.
Yes, he would.
So what's our situation? They're chasing us? Are they firing?
Well, they're inside of the train, and you're on the exterior of the train. So they're kind of waiting for their opportunity, which is about the time when you get to the caboose, which I'm going to take initiative from John Henry and Cordwood Pete going against the golems. And then you're going to try and walk me through your plan of what you have going there.
Oh, great.
22.
Wow.
It's at +6.
Yeah, it is.
I also have 22 plus 2.
So 24 for yourself, John Henry?
Indeed.
Well, that certainly beats the 4 I rolled for the golems. They unfortunately have -4, so I did get an 8, but...
so we should each be able to go twice before they do anything.
So they'd have to, like, if we stay on top of the train, in order to shoot us, they would have to go beyond their center of gravity, leaning back.
Yes. This is correct.
How stupid are they?
Stupid enough to give it a try.
Let's just stand on the top of the caboose and let them pile up on each other. My plan is to get as many of them in that car as we can, jump off the back, do an athletics check to crawl under while they're looking out for us, then decouple it, leaving them on a track, slowing down as we steal the rest of the train.
So are you going to hold actions and wait for them to get all on board the caboose before you act?
I might just go ahead and use do a little bit of meditation right now.
Okay. You're going to go ahead and do some meditation for the round, but John Henry actually goes just before you, so I want to hear what he's going to be doing on the opening turn here.
So are they already coming toward the caboose?
Hashtag clarity the great train robbery. Watch out for Buster Keaton.
Ooh, that's true. Thank you.
Indeed. Watch out for Buster Keaton. Yes, they are on their way to the caboose. They've been following you through the interior of the train cars, not particularly quickly, but chasing after the two of you as you made your way to the caboose.
Okay, and so we're outside on top or outside on the...
Outside on top.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so how do they know we're there? Can they see us, or how are they...
They had spotted you when you boarded the train, and they've been following you as you leap from car to car, but they're not as quick as you.
Okay. What is aggro?
Aggro is a buff that Brony has, where if opponents don't attack him, it creates problems for them.
Okay, it's for Brony. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's Brony's buff. He has the ability to make everyone really angry and attack him rather than anyone else.
But that's not the worst idea in the world.
No, it's not.
Initiate that. As they come in, run the other way because they can't turn fast.
Yeah.
But John Henry is going to start our turn unless he is holding his action.
So we are on top of the caboose car and they're coming toward it.
Correct.
Okay. So he's meditating. So I don't really need to lure them though. They're already coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they have to come single file.
Yep. They can only get their single file. They are pretty big.
Is there any rope?
Why, yes. There is plenty of rope lying around.
We probably have rope. Okay.
Charlie Bronson always has rope in the movies, and he always ends up using it.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie rope around the end of my hammer.
All right.
I'm going to
That's how David Carradine died.
jump down the no. Well, hey,
No,
well,
you need to ask what he's doing with his other hand before you can make that joke.
Right.
I'm going to jump down through the. I don't know if they have a roof or a skylight or whatever they have on top of the thing, but I'm going to jump down into the caboose.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw my hammer, Thor style, at the first one that's coming at me, and then recall it with the rope because I'm not really Thor.
I like it.
All right. Give me an athletics test for the hammer throw.
Wait, doop. 8. Come on. Cool. 9. Beat it by 9.
Beat it by 9. It is a perfect throw, and you hurl the hammer forwards, knocking one of the hammer arms off of the advancing golem and sending it flying out through the side of the car and into the desolate land around the railroad tracks as it hums along.
Oh, that's what happened?
Oh, yeah. And you pull back on the rope, getting your hammer back in the same swift motion. In fact, John Henry, you are so strong and so swift that the rope doesn't ever actually not become taut. You throw it out, it impacts, and then you snap it back right into your hand.
Nice.
With the rope laying behind you and at your feet from the leftover slack as it returns. And Brony, you were going to be doing a meditation for the round? Is that you said?
Well, so what is the status? How many of them are like in the caboose at this point?
They're still making their way to the caboose. The one that was in the front got hit with the hammer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and meditate. And I feel like I should also activate aggro.
All right, aggro is activated.
I like it.
Well,
so I'm still on the roof
because instead of coming in and attacking, the John Henry down in the car, now they are going to attempt to attack Brony Robbins on the roof of the caboose, who's an exceptionally difficult target. So as the first one-armed one comes through, it leans back, getting into the caboose, almost 5 or 6 feet in front of you, John Henry, really close. It could easily open fire upon you with the Gatling gun, but instead it leans backwards a little more, and then falls on its back before opening fire with the Gatling gun into the roof above, where Brony Robbins is somewhere up there. And bullets tear through the roof of the caboose, but they are nowhere near to you, Brony Robbins. The second one shuffles in right behind the first, stops just short of it, leans back a little more, and then falls over on its back while opening fire into the roof with the Gatling. This process repeats a total of 6 times.
The unfortunate news about this is that the roof of the caboose is now completely gone.
And by the time the 6th one
Six
opens fire
Gatling guns
on the caboose, Brony Robbins falls through the remaining bits of roof and lands next to you, John Henry, and the line of prone golems in front of you, all aimed at the roof. Spent shell casings everywhere. We're going to hop to the front of the train car. Cassie Jones, Joe, you have made your way past the armored car where Butch, Matt, and the McCartys are attempting to break in and secure the gold, and into the engineer's car. The engineer is, in fact, not an engineer at all, but a steam-powered man built into the controls itself.
Can I stop at the car where Butch and them are before we continue down? I'm going to very quickly and stealthfully steal Butch's hat.
All right. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll for that.
That should be no problem. I rolled a 4.
That is good enough. You have Butch's hat. As far as he knows, it blew off in the wind, or it's on the train behind.
I'll just trade him hats. You know.
Okay.
I'm putting on Butch Cassidy's hat.
All right, you're wearing Butch Cassidy's hat. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I'm going to wear it for the time being. And since I'm outside the train taking the engine with Casey Jones, I might have to do some, wild, magical, daring do, and it's best that they see Butch Cassidy do it instead of me.
I understand. All right. Cassie Jones, you get to that engineer's car with Joe wearing Butch Cassidy's hat and looking remarkably like Butch Cassidy behind you. And as I just explained, rather than a person, it is a steam construct built into the controls of the train itself.
Excellent. I just disable it.
What are you going to use to disable it? Please tell me.
My engineering.
That is the perfect skill for it. Will you give me an engineering test?
I absolutely will. Oops, that's not the right app. Here we go. And I am on 10. 7, 4. That would be an 11, so I beat it by 5.
Beat it by 5. With a couple of quick maneuvers, you are able to disable the steam-powered machine driving this train.
And now I'm going to take the wheel. It's not a wheel, I know this, but I know.
How far are we from the track switch?
You are less than a mile and closing fast.
Beautiful. So I stand on the smokestack of the train, and I grab a lightning bolt out of the air and ride it over to the switch. And say,
yes!
Yes. And Butch Cassidy rides the lightning to the switch. Flashback to the caboose car. The golems are laid out in a line, one after the other, aimed up at the roof, and they are beginning to attempt to struggle to get to their feet as we start with John Henry first.
I like that these horrible hammer golems have suddenly become the Keystone Cops.
So who's up?
It is you, John Henry. You are first as we get back to the caboose, and each one of these golems is laying on its back with the roof of the caboose torn into individual pieces. They have all made it into the caboose car with you, but are struggling to regain their feet.
All right. Do this fast then. Okay, let's do this fast. Okay, so I'm gonna back up and get like a good Happy Gilmore running start, and I'm going to whack the first golem like an executive desk toy, so he smacks into the other ones, and that one smacks into the other one. Now it smacks into the other one. Just kind of like that.
The first one, meaning you want to send them out of the caboose, or the last one to send them further into the caboose?
In.
All right, so you're going
in or out the back?
Yeah, you basically hit the one that's in, and then the one that's closest to the back flies out of.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and give me a fighting test there, John Henry.
Yes. Whoops. So I beat it by 9, and I'm going to go ahead and throw in my extra 4 to make it a critical.
Nice.
With a critical success, John Henry bounds across the still smoking gun bellies of these golems, getting to the very back one in the line, and takes that mighty swing, hitting it at the top of the head, sending it about 6 feet further forward into the caboose. Of course, there's another one right at its feet, and it gets sent about 6 feet forward, and so on in the entire line, until that first one that you have gotten the hammer off of goes flying out of the rear of the caboose, landing in the tracks, completely obliterated as it hits the ground, leaving only 5 of them in the caboose itself, all of them completely on board that train car now. Brony Robbins, it is on to you, sir.
All right. I am going to also gingerly make my way over these things as they are clacked together, so they don't really know what's going on. Going to swing my trusty axe at the joint, at the coupling between the cars, and as I swing, I'm going to grab John Henry with my other hand and pull us into the last car, letting the caboose just sort of fly off or slowly slow down and not bother us.
All right, give me an athletics test, Cordwood Pete.
Let's keep them good. 9. Beat it by 9.
Beat it by 9 is a success. You leap forward, pulling John Henry into the second to last car in the train and disconnecting the caboose car, leaving the 5 other golems aboard it, slowly fading further and further behind you as we jump back to Cassie Jones and Joe McGarrick. Cassie, you have the controls. What are you going to do?
I'm going to wait for that switch to happen, and then I'm just going to follow this track, this beautifully laid track, all the way to its destination.
You give me a driving check, please. And
Absolutely.
Joe, you have arrived via lightning at the switch.
Excellent. And just in case anybody's watching, I'm going to pull out a gun and shoot the switch so it's with a bullet, so the bullet makes the switch go.
Please give me a shooting test just because.
Yeah, absolutely. Does this thing have a dodge bonus? Please say yes.
It does not. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I made my shooting test by 10. Not a problem.
It is the perfect shot. It's so good that as the train goes by, you sort of catch onto the train with one hand, doing a spin move with the revolver and reholstering it. Getting back on board the train.
I'll just catch it with the hammer.
Going off the tracks onto the spur that you have created with Cassie Jones at the wheel.
And I would like to use my Patreon bonus so that's a critical success, so I beat it by 11.
Oh.
So that it's smooth sailing.
And it is perfect. The newly played track is perfectly smooth. In fact, the ride is even better than the long-established track that you were on before. And you accomplish the greatest train theft, the train heist of the century.
We stole a train!
To Butch Cassidy and his newly minted, as the papers are calling him, Wild Bunch.
Wild Bunch.
And that's all we have for tonight's show, guys. We will see you again next week with more adventures in this alternate Weird West, more tall tales, and more legends. Love all you guys. Make sure to catch all the Zoe programming we have all week long. Remember that Void Jumpers has moved days this week and will be on Thursday. And we'll see more of you with Couriers on Friday. You've got so many good shows. You got The Dead Gentleman on Tuesdays. It's all wonderful, magical. We love you all, and we will see you all next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Stole a train.
Stole a train.
That's cool.
Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Troll them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse.